So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what I believe to be the best Victor Wembanyama cards to chase after. I've been getting so many messages every single day asking this question. Of course, the NBA season is underway and so many people want to invest in Victor Wembanyama's cards. So I'm going to be doing a whole crash course of what to look out for, what to avoid, and what to buy essentially. But before we get into that, this week's giveaway is going to be a new box of 2023-24 Prism Draft Picks Collegiate Basketball. So it's around a $200 box right now. We are giving it away to one lucky person who subscribes, likes this video, follows me on Instagram at itskanalahuja, and then comments the word done once you follow those 3 steps. You must be following the Instagram to enter because we will be announcing the winner on my private Instagram at itskanalahuja. So you definitely want to go ahead and enter if you want a chance. In these boxes, you can even pull Victor Wembanyama, cards in the box, of course. I know a lot of people were thinking for the collegiate, they wouldn't have Wemby in the product, but sure enough, they do have Wemby in the product, and his gold prism was recently pulled, and it's currently up for $10,000 or best offer. So you have a chance to pull that if you go ahead and enter into the giveaway. So once again, like this video, subscribe, comment the word done, and follow me on Instagram at itskanalahuja. But without further ado, we are going to hop right into the video. So the first couple things that I did want to go over when it comes to Victor Wembanyama's sports card market is that Topps does have an exclusive autograph deal with Victor Wembanyama, as stated in this Twitter post. So as you guys know, there are a lot of people who are very excited for, Panini products with autographs for Wembanyama. For example, his logo man would be the king of the hill, but it looks at the moment that there's a solid chance that we will not be getting Victor Wembanyama logo man with an autograph, but there still would be an unsigned version, of course, regardless of what goes down, but that is definitely something to keep in mind when you look at the high-end Victor Wembanyama rookie cards. Now, this article right here that I was reading through earlier today really touched on a lot of the key points that I wanted to make when it comes to Victor Wembanyama's cards in general. So as you guys know, the hype is at an all-time high when a player is about to, I guess, make their debut, you can call it. As I'm making this video, he hasn't made his debut yet. So we're seeing hype at an all-time high. And of course, there are a lot of risks that I want to go over really fast. I know everyone kind of knows the risks, but of course, injuries, if it doesn't pan out. Of course, I personally am a very big fan of the San Antonio Spurs development system. They've been able to, of course, their last 2 number 1 picks can speak for themselves. David Robinson and Tim Duncan. So those 2 are, all-time greats, and they developed them with a lot less incoming talent than Victor Wembanyama currently has. So of course, the upside you guys can see is just, the best player in the league by far, the best player of our generation potentially. So obviously that is where the hype is kind of coming in from. Now, of course, Victor Wembanyama's main licensed rookie cards have not come out. A rookie card with his NBA, license has not come out yet. So we're currently seeing only university cards, and of course, cards like Sports Illustrated cards, unlicensed products, and of course, those cards are already selling for some very high numbers. And so we're seeing a lot of people dive into the hype for random Victor Wembanyama cards. If you looked at his 2023 Topps Now draft in a PSA 10. This card came out as a $200 card in a PSA 10, and fast forward to today, it's around a $75 card because 5,500 have already been graded a PSA 10, which is very scary. There were 72,000 total made. The product recently released, and there are already 5,500 in a PSA 10. This number is likely to increase to probably around 10 to 20,000 in the coming year, which is very scary because if supply is tripling or quadrupling, you have to make demand quadruple or triple, for his cards to even stay the same price, let alone go up in price. So I'm personally not a big fan of a lot of his cards with very high pop counts. So we're going to see that across the board. A lot of people are kind of buying in a little bit too early. You guys can see right here, this sums it up really well. There are no licensed Wemby rookie cards that are out yet, but you can still find a lot of his rookies on eBay right now with a simple search. Don't buy those. They're made by mom and pop card printers trying to take advantage of the early boom. You should wait until official NBA jersey cards come out. So I know a lot of people are seeing like Bowman University, and they of course know that Bowman is a reputable, licensed product, but the thing is, it's not an NBA jersey, and so you're seeing even this card right here came out between 2,000 and 8,000 were its initial sales. We saw, I believe, one sale closer to 8,000. At 8,000 in July, and so this card was selling between 3 and 8,000 for a good period, and then as more got graded, as more hit the market, as the hype for the product died down a little bit, the card went down to around 750, and now it's back up to around 1,300. So you're just seeing a lot of volatility in Victor Wembanyama's sports card market with his unlicensed products, because more continue to release, and as more cards release, the prices kind of start to suffer a little bit more. And so I would definitely not recommend buying into university cards. And I know I've been getting a lot of messages. There could be some short-term upside, but overall, it is very, very risky. I would definitely wait until licensed NBA jerseys come out. NBA jersey cards come out, of course, as I said. It's hard to say, what draft picks cards would be worth for LeBron. And I've been comparing a lot of LeBron's top rookie cards to, where Wemby's cards are right now. As we see, I know it's tough to compare. Wembanyama's, a totally different era of basketball, and of course his products are just in a new age of sports cards. But if we want to look at LeBron Sports Illustrated, for example, which of course is LeBron has so many other cards that are out, but if you look at, his initial Sports Illustrated cards, they're only 170 PSA 10s, and it's around a $500 card, and that is a very scarce card. If you look at Victor Wembanyama's Sports Illustrated, you can see a totally different kind of, I guess, market for them. You're seeing PSA 6s do $500. Of course, PSA 6s have a 300 pop, pop of 300, and a PSA 8 is doing $1,300. So if you can only imagine what a PSA 10 would go for, we saw PSA 9 do $10,000. And so it just doesn't quite make sense why people are putting these at such a premium of where they should be. I know they're a little bit tougher to grade than LeBron's here, just because, the highest grade has been a PSA 9, but if you even want to compare a PSA 8 to LeBron's PSA 10, Wembanyama's PSA 8 Sports Illustrated for Kids is over 2x the price of LeBron's, which does not make sense at all. So you're seeing a lot of hype driven around these new products, and if you want to see if it's a good investment for the long term, even if Victor Wembanyama does turn out to be a LeBron-type talent, I don't think his Sports Illustrated cards are going to be good investments in the long term. It just simply doesn't make sense. The math doesn't add up. So that is one thing I would definitely want to go ahead and look at. Another thing you want to look at is sealed wax. Sealed wax, as mentioned right here, is something that I am, very high on when it comes to the rookie class. Because I truly believe this rookie class is a lot more than just Wembanyama. You got Amen Thompson, you got Asar Thompson, of course you've got Scoot Henderson. You've got a lot of, players that you can buy into, that can mitigate your risk. So if Victor Wembanyama does not turn out to be that LeBron James, Michael Jordan type talent, you still have hedged your bet by, you're investing in Wembanyama when you're investing in the wax, but you're also investing in guys like Scoot Henderson, Asar Thompson, Amen Thompson, and a lot of other young, guys with, I would say, not quite as much upside, but with still an absurd amount of upside. And so that's where I really think you can mitigate a lot of the risk when it comes to investing in Wembanyama. It's more so investing in his draft class, and you still get the upside, but you also get a lot of the downside kind of limited. And so that is one thing I'm really looking at, is buying a lot of sealed wax when it comes out, of products that I believe, are good products to be bought into, but one thing you do have to keep in mind is, for example, if you do buy that National Treasures box, and Victor Wembanyama's, logo man does get pulled, you could see prices come down a lot. And so you're going to see a lot of volatility initially when products start to get pulled, because if people are pulling for that Victor Wembanyama logo man, and buying up those boxes, a lot of that is artificial demand, because when that Victor Wembanyama logo man does get pulled, all that demand is going to go away from that product. So that is going to be something to really look at. Now, another thing I do want to say, as mentioned here, you're going to want to look at the supply on a lot of these cards. If you look at a lot of numbered, autographed parallels of Victor Wembanyama, I think there's a lot of great upside in the long term. Of course, Prism numbers, Optic numbers, Select numbers, National Treasures, of course, Contenders, Cracked Ice, things like that, I think are going to be, very, very high upside in the long term. We're going to, of course, see a lot of people, chasing these products. And I would personally, mitigate risk between wax and his actual cards. I think that is personally my strategy. But I'm definitely going to be waiting for the hype to really die down a little bit. No matter how great of a talent he is, his card should not be selling for 2 to 3x the price of LeBron's. And I believe when they come out, they will be sitting that high. Even for his Prism, even for his Optic, I believe prices are going to be sitting very, very high at first. So I would definitely recommend staying patient. As tempting as it is to get in right now, staying patient is going to pay off if you're looking to hold in the long term. If you're looking to flip, you could get in right away, sell right away, and make your money. That is definitely a strategy. But this video is a little bit more for the long-term folks who do want to, lock in great investments for Victor Wembanyama in case he turns out to be a LeBron, Michael Jordan talent. Now, of course, we want to look at some cards that potentially are going to be underpriced due to where they could be in the future. And I think what you're going to look at for that is overall pop count. If you're able to get one of these key products, a numbered card of his, 99 or under, in a high grade for a couple $1,000s, I think you're positioned to do really well. RPAs, I think, are going to be, very, very sought after. If we look at some of LeBron's key RPAs, we can clearly see that you're going to have a very, very strong, I would just say premium for, in general, RPAs, even if they are not from the best product. An SPX LeBron RPA, and a BGS 9.5 is still holding up around $34,000. This card was even higher before. Of course, you're going to see a lot of Victor Wembanyama's RPAs come out at absurd prices. I don't want to imagine what his National Treasures are going to come out at, but if you can wait for them to die down a little bit, if you're able to get in to some of his most important cards, I would definitely suggest, I believe it says it somewhere in this article, but I would definitely suggest going after a couple very important cards as opposed to a lot of smaller cards. So here's the kind of paragraph that I was looking at that really resonated with my thinking, and I think it said it a little bit better than I could. So rookie collectors often prioritize having a lot of cards, but remember that you're better off holding fewer cards that are more valuable, because these are going to hold more value in the long term, and these are going to be where investors look in the long term, because LeBron has a million different cards to choose from, and all of his investable market is focused on his higher end cards. You do not see people going out buying LeBron James, Bowman base cards as much. LeBron James is an incredible talent, but you can get a Bowman base PSA 9, for only a couple $100, $200. So instead of having a bunch of these cards, a bunch of, Bowman base for Wembanyama, or, Topps, base, or whatever it is, Prism base, that are going to be a couple $100 if he turns out to be a LeBron talent, going after one, refractor, or one, RPA, you're going to see is going to pay off in the long term by a lot. Because if you still look at, I know these are a lot more rare, but, a LeBron PSA 9 Bowman Chrome refractor is still around a $9,000 card, and it peaked a lot higher. So you can see a lot more comes into the higher end market, the numbered cards, his Bowman Chrome Refractors out of 300, you're seeing a lot more money flow into his higher cards. Just like the cards described in previous points, investing in quantity leads to buying over printed cards that are going to be cheaper because you can afford more of them, while investing in quality, low pop cards, smaller supply cards will hold value a lot better in the long term. So that is something I'm really focused on. If I really believe in Victor Wembanyama after this season and all of his NBA licensed products come out, I'm going to be going after a couple of his very high-end cards instead of going after a bunch of his, base cards or very common cards that are not going to hold value in the long term, because investors are not going to look there. Right now, when there's only a couple options to choose from, investors may be focused on his Bowman cards. But think about this. When his Optic cards, when his Prism cards, when his Select cards, when his National Treasures cards, etc. are all out, when all of these 10 products are out, are people really going to care about his Bowman Chrome University cards? I don't think so. That is going to be number 20, number 30 on the list of sets that make Victor Wembanyama cards. So I just think in general, you're going to see a lot more money focused on these 10 products than a Bowman Chrome University product. And so I would definitely suggest not buying university products. When these products come out for NBA jerseys, nobody is going to care about university cards of his anymore. You see even LeBron cards, like Sports Illustrated cards without NBA jerseys. People do not care about them, even though he is an incredible talent. A PSA 9 with a pop of 1,000 is a $60 card. A Sports Illustrated LeBron card is a $60 card. People don't care because all of his NBA jersey official cards are out, so these cards get forgotten about. And I think the same is going to happen with Victor Wembanyama. Nobody's going to care about a Sports Illustrated card 2 years down the line. Right now, people care because there's only a couple options to invest in Wemby's cards. But down the line, people are not going to care. But that is pretty much, a base level of understanding that I hope you guys can kind of have on Victor Wembanyama's card market. Stay patient out there. Wait for NBA licensed products to come out. Go after his higher end cards. Of course, not everyone has a high end budget, but going after a Sports Illustrated card is not going to pay off in the long term. So I hope that this video helped you guys out. Let me know down below what your guys' strategy is. Once again, if you did want to enter into win a box of Prism draft picks, with Victor Wembanyama potentially gold draft picks Prism cards, all you have to do is subscribe. Like this video. Follow me on Instagram at itskanalahuja. Comment the word done. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.